You call him the child? Did you call the child the word? It is my own business. You call him. Okay, why don't you have the boss to say it right now again? Okay. All right, that's what you say.
You don't go digging through people.
Nobody digging through.
A little kid just did, you don't.
A little kid, you call him the little child?
What if he acts like one? He's gonna.
Are you about to hit him? You chase him here?
He took my son's stuff.
So that gives you the right to call the child 5-year-old and the N-word.
If that's what he's gonna act.
That's
like.
what you're gonna call him.
That's what he's gonna act like.
You know that's a hate speech, and you can be that.
I don't give a.
Huh. Okay, we'll see about that. What the internet has to say about you.
Well, the context here is it started last week with a video that was posted on social media and went viral of a confrontation at a playground in a park here in Rochester, Soldier Field, that park down there. And there was a woman here that, and this video I'm told was taken by a witness, somebody else, but that she apparently got upset because accused a 5-year-old of trying to steal something from her child's diaper bag. That in the video she's accosted by this witness saying, "Did you call that little boy the N-word?" And it kind of escalates from there. I just saw the video here a few minutes ago, and this interplay then, it really raised a lot of emotions obviously around here, and so that led to this rally here that you saw earlier today. It started at noon. It went for a while, and then there was a short just kind of march around the government center here. Now is wrapped up, in which, you know, there's a number of things at play here in the kind of the emotional response to this. One is they're upset because the woman at the in the video at the center of this then started a fundraising campaign on Give, Send, Go, and raised $600,000 there, in which she said that's for her own legal defense, that's also for her own safety, that she's been getting threats that she may have to move, protect her family. Well, then people are upset that they view her as maybe trying to profit off of what occurred. It's unclear exactly what the situation is. I talked to the mayor here too, and she said, yeah, it's unclear. The police have been doing their work all the weekend trying to talk to witnesses, figure this out. This morning forwarded it to the city attorney's office here for potential charging decision, that they will work with the county attorney's office here too, because a lot of people at this protest, that was the other part of it, is they want this woman to be charged with some sort of hate crime, because they see, again, online, the donations that she's getting come with a lot of then incendiary comments too. The NAACP then had their own fundraising campaign just to really kind of counter that, and which has now been ended, met its goal and ended. And so there's going to be some more events here, but the big thing is that they're concerned that the folks that have come together here would like to see some sort of criminal charges against the woman at the center of this conflict, and so we'll see where that plays out. There's no real timeline on when that decision could come.
And Rob, if you could, for those who haven't seen the video or choose not to watch it, could you kind of walk us through, just kind of slowly what transpires? And so we don't catch the any initial whatever the person who's recording says you said this. We don't have that initial interaction, but we do have him confronting her. Is that right? And she does say several times. Can you walk us through that?
Yeah, I mean, what I've seen here is that the bystander, the witness who took the video, walks up to this woman and starts by saying, "Hey, did you just call this boy this?" And the one I saw had a lot of things beeped out, so you don't get all the language there. You just know that it's inflammatory, so it had to be beeped out. And really just confronting her about, why would you say that to a 5-year-old? And she said, well, he was trying to steal something out of my child's diaper bag. And then it kind of escalated from there. And really, again, the version I saw that was edited for language really was just strongly edited for language, and so it's hard to hear in the version again that I saw exactly what the full interplay was, except that it was certainly, it kind of escalated back and forth. where he's challenging her about what she said, and so it really struck a lot of nerves here that this happened. And the mayor said there's been a couple of other incidents in the last year or so in town that has really kind of put people on edge about it. It's just something like this.
And after the rally, Rob, did you have a chance to go and kind of chat with anybody in particular, or get any insight from people who were there?
I spoke to the mayor and the head of the NAACP, and then several of the people that attended here too, where they just said they want to come out to say that this should not happen. These things should not be okay, and they're what they're maybe even more concerned about was then the comments that they read online, where they say is filled with a lot more, hate speech or racially charged speech in support of this woman. And that really kind of escalated, the emotional response here was seeing then the other reaction online. And so that's really kind of just continuing to add more kind of fuel to the fire.
Okay.
Happy Saturday. Welcome back to On the Shoulders of Giants. This is your Negro News, brought to you by myself, Joseph Ward. Thank you to everybody who's tuning in. Thank you to everybody who's been supporting On the Shoulders of Giants. I said, hey, I'm doing this Negro News. I've been thinking about it for a while. Why not go live with this Negro News? So here I am. I'm live on this good Saturday, May 10th, 2025. And thank you to everybody who tuned in. Make sure you hit that like button. You got to hit that like button. Hit that like button. Drop them comments. If you have not subscribed to this channel, subscribe, share, all of that. And remember, Joe Biden told me to tell you that if you don't hit that like button, then you really don't like African Americans. You ain't African American. So Negro News, I got a couple stories that I'm giving you about things that has happened and we need to talk about. So the first is this story about this Minnesota woman who has gone viral for calling a 5-year-old black autistic child the N-word, going off on him. That's going to be the first story. Second story is the verdict from the Tyree Nichols case. Tyree Nichols was beaten by cops, fatally beaten by cops, and it went to trial, and the cops ended up getting off. Black cops beat a black man, so we're going to get into that. And then, of course, you already know we got to talk about what happened with Rodney Hinton Jr. We have to talk about that. It's a story of a group of young black teens were in a stolen vehicle. One of the teens was Rodney Hinton Jr.'s son. They fled from the cops. The cops end up shooting and killing Rodney Hinton Jr.'s son. A day later, Rodney took his revenge. So you already know we're going to get into that. I want to give a shout out to Patrick Irvin, give a shout out to Professor Carlton Jones, give a shout out to Henry Rawls. I want to give a shout out to my lady Tiffany. I want to give a shout out to her, my mama, my daddy, everybody, all my viewers, everybody who hold me down from Paris to all over the globe. Meek him, everybody who be supporting On the Shoulders of Giants. Thank you. If you want to learn more about what we got going on, you see it scrolling at the bottom of the screen. That's the website. Thank you to everybody who support the On the Shoulders of Giants Black History School. That's what I did this morning. We went and had a lesson today on Fort Negro. We learned about the Battle of Fort Negro and how the slaves who escaped slavery, they got with the indigenous people in the area and they fought against Andrew Jackson and all them other people in there. So, man, y'all come on in. Make sure you hit that like button. Don't just be viewing, hit that like button, because when you hit the like button, that helps the algorithm and more people can see this content. All right, so talking about this Minnesota woman, that's the first story. This Minnesota woman who went off. She went ballistic on a 5-year-old autistic child, calling him the N-word. Let me run it back. Let me run it back and show it again.
Did you call him the child? Did you call the child the N-word? It is my own business. You call him. Okay, why don't you have the boss to say it right now again? Okay. All right, that's what you say.
You don't go digging through people.
It's crazy.
Nobody dig into your
A little kid just did, you dumb.
A little kid, you call him the little child?
What if he acts like one? He's gonna.
Are you about to hit him? You chase him here?
He took my son's stuff.
So that gives you the right to call the child 5-year-old and the N-word.
If that's what he's gonna act.
That's
like.
what you're gonna call him.
That's what he's gonna act like.
You know, that's a hate speech. And you can be the that.
I don't give a.
Okay, we'll see about that, what the internet has to say about you.
So that happened in Minnesota at a playground. And this has really divided the internet, divided people in America, because, you know, the people who support racism are on her side. The people who are against racism are like, that white girl crazy. Need to throw an orange at her head, drop kick her ass or something, because she out here calling the 5-year-old autistic child the N-word, just straight going off on them. So a little backstory to that is the 5-year-old was going through her child's diaper bag, and from there she accused him of stealing. Of course she would accuse the 5-year-old black child of stealing, and then from there she went off on her tirade calling him the N-word, because of course, you know, that's what they do. And from there she played the victim. So you would expect that a grown-ass woman will have better discernment, better common sense, a better mindset to understand that, okay, this is a child and it's a 5-year-old, and children do children stuff. So if he's rummaging through the bag, it's probably, you know, it's a child. Who's to say that he's trying to take stuff? Children do that stuff all the time. You just redirect them. You don't have to go off on them. But as a psychologically unstable adult and emotionally unstable adult, and she just unstable all around, she decided, hey, I'm finna go off on a 5-year-old. And of course, we got to put that label on her, white supremacist, because only a white supremacist would do that, right? No person who was against the system of white supremacy would react that way. And she was so free and so loose with throwing the N-word around. And of course, you know, she picked an easy target. And then there's bystander, the guy who filmed the whole ordeal, and he got into a spat with her back and forth by calling the child an N-word. And so some of the fallout from that is she did a GoFundMe. Oh, so it wasn't GoFundMe. It was another platform similar to GoFundMe, the Give, Send, Go. So she has raised over $700,000 in support of her and her whatever she needs support for. Over $700,000 have been raised through Give, Set, Go in support of her. And a lot of the information that I heard is a lot of white people are using that as retaliation because money was donated to Carmelo Anthony. So they say, if y'all donate money to Carmelo Anthony, then we're gonna donate money to the rude, unstable white girl, right? And so that's how she has been able to amass over $700,000 in support of her foolishness, because she can definitely pull her bottom lip over her head and swallow. Like, that would be great. The world would be a better place if she pulled her bottom lip over her head and swallowed. But of course, she picked an easy target. Now, some say that the guy who was holding the camera and the child she went off on, some say they know each other. And some say that this is a scam. A lot of people are saying that this is a scam to raise money for the white girl and the dude who was behind the camera, so they can do whatever with the money. And the idea is to create a racially charged situation to have people react in a specific way because they understand the climate, the way the climate is right now, because white people are on edge and, you know, they're all, oh, we're losing our country, things that happen, white people are all on edge, right? And so a lot of people are saying that the guy who's behind the camera who confronted her, they're working in cahoots to raise this money. And of course, the child was sacrificed, the little black kid who was supposed to be his child. So that's information that I've heard. So the little black kid gets, he roamed. So I guess the plot was the kid goes through the bag, she goes off on him, they film it, it goes viral, and then they're able to raise money. So that's what a lot of people are saying. But this has a lot of opinions throughout the internet. And of course, I'm adding my 2 cents in about it as well. So when I first heard the story, it was presented to me as if the child was actually stealing, like the child had actually taken something out of her bag. And it was presented to me as if this was an older child, somebody who would know much better. And then we found out that, okay, this is a 5-year-old who is autistic, who has rummaged through her diaper bag. And it hasn't been confirmed that something was actually taken, but that he rummaged through her diaper bag and her crazy ass went off. So this is how we get to the situation right here with this woman. Now, I've been looking I haven't found her name yet. Now, let's say this is in Minnesota. So there's a Rochester chapter of the NAACP who has started their own fundraising campaign for the child and the child's family. And that has raised over $340,000. So if this is actually a scam, they didn't hit a lick off the emotions of people, both black and white. If it truly is a scam, they didn't hit a lick. But if it is truly a scam, that's messed up. That, first of all, a black man or any man of color would create a plan or plot like this with some crazy deranged white chick. So now you crazy too, bro. If the scam story is true, she ain't the only one crazy. Your ass crazy too, bro. And to use that, this is the ultimate race baiting. Like, this is the ultimate race baiting right here. If this is a scam and they both need their ass whooped, right? Especially the dude, especially the man of color, the black man. Especially if you use your child as a sacrifice, you use your little black child to be berated by this crazy ass white lady to make money through the GoFundMe. If that is true, oh, he needs to have his ass whooped. But it's also his mindset. He clearly is in support of the system of white supremacy. He clearly has that insane mindset. He clearly has vacant esteem. He clearly doesn't see the value in himself or his son, to put his son in that position to be berated by some white woman and called the N-word just all up and down, willy-nilly all throughout the street like that. Like, what is going on with that? That's wild. If that scam story is true, that's crazy as hell, and they need their asses whooped, right? But it once again, it also goes to a deeper fundamental problem with them, like psychologically. Like, it's a deeper fundamental problem. Like, you really operate like that? Like, you really think that that's okay to get money? Like, that's okay for you to hit money? To get money, you have to operate in that manner. If that is true, that's wild. But if it's not true, then it's still a crazy ass story. If it's not true, it's still a crazy ass story, because random, unstable ass white woman just decides, well, once again, I'm not going to be an adult in this situation. There's no rationality to this situation of why maybe a 5-year-old might be going through my bag. Maybe because it's a 5-year-old, especially if you've been around 5-year-olds, little kids do little kid crazy stuff. All right, he going through the bag. Just, hey, man, it's my bag. You don't have to be rude. You have to just redirect them, and it's all good. You can talk to the parent, and it's all good. But she went straight off the handle. And once again, it has divided the media, divided people, and got everybody all up in the uproar about what's going on with this. And of course, that is going to happen, and it should happen, and she should face any backlash that she gets. She shouldn't be surprised that people are calling her a racist. She shouldn't be surprised that we're labeling her a white supremacist. She shouldn't be surprised. And so one of the things that came from this, I was watching a clip from the Piers Morgan show, and they had, I can't remember the white girl that was on the Piers Morgan show, but they had her, Mark Lamont Hill, old week. How you doing, beautiful Hebrew? How you doing? Thank you for tuning in. And shout out to my lady Tiffany. Like she said, y'all hit that like button. So they were on the Piers Morgan show, and I can't remember the white lady's name who was on the Piers Morgan show, but she is known for using the N-word like recklessly. Like that's just what she do. She's known for using it. And they were discussing the situation. And so when they found out she was in support of the white woman who was calling the 5-year-old an N-word, Piers Morgan invited her to just use the word, and Mark Lamont Hill blew up like, nah, we ain't doing that. I don't have a problem with what Lamont was doing. He was basically saying, I'm not going to invite her to disrespect me up on this show right here right now. But she was in support of the white woman, but it was a white woman who was in support of a racist white woman, 2 racist white women, right? 2 white supremacists in support of each other. But she was so brazen in how she uses the N-word. Yes, I use it and I don't care. Right? And so now we talk about some real people who support white supremacy, who not backing down, who not ashamed of it, and who not going to hide behind it. See, because I know we're used to like white supremacists who like to throw their rocks and hide their hands. And when we're confronted with white supremacy people, with white supremacists who stand on it, we get flustered sometimes. And we need to understand that this is the real stuff. Those are like the real ones, right? They don't care about what you think. They understand that they have an audience, their livelihood and everything could be enhanced by giving these ultra white supremacist views, and they're going to support each other. White supremacists support each other. White supremacists support each other. You see that key word, support. Across the board, they support each other, right? Across the board, they are supporting each other. So we got to be able to think about that. We want to, in small fractions, support ourselves whenever. Instead of understanding across the board, we have to unite, because we're dealing with people who understand how to come together when the going get tough, right? So, but that's all I want to say about that. I don't want to beat a dead horse to death with that crazy ass white lady. So let's get into, let me find my place. Let's get into what's going on with this Tyre Nichols case. Ali Cologne, what's going on? Peace to you. Peace to you. Thank y'all for tuning in. Y'all make sure y'all hit that like button. This is Joseph Ward from On the Shoulders of Giants. I'm going live for the first time in a couple of years. It's been a minute since I've gone live. Now I'm not a stranger to this live stuff. I've been on the radio and all that stuff. It's just been a minute. So I like, man, let me dust this old live skills off and get back on it, because I'm having fun. I want to have some fun with it. So let's get into reactions and words from the family of Tyre Nichols after the verdict of saying that the black police officers who beat him to death, that got a not guilty verdict. So let's listen in for a minute.
Haymaker to Tyre Nichols. Yesterday, Tadarius Bean, Justin Smith, and Demetrius Haley gave another kick, a deadly kick, to Tyre Nichols and his family. But we stand with this family to lift this family up in prayer and to call on the God of justice to deliver real justice for Tyre Nichols. But we were not under any illusion yesterday or last week in trial with an all-white jury from Hamilton County in Chattanooga. We were not under any illusion. But it just wasn't any white jury from Hamilton County. It was the most racist and the most redneck jury that they could have ever found to preside over this case in the matter of justice for Tyre Nichols. It is what it is. The prosecution, they did their job.
Yes, they did.
But when you still live in America that they don't see black people, they see police and they see blue.
Right.
And yesterday was a result of an America that has not changed. And it seems like we're living in a world, we're living in America that's not going to change. Yesterday, the whole world cried out for Tyree Nichols.
Yes, we did.
This city cried out for Tyree Nichols in sincerity. But we had a few folks who had some crocodile tears.
That's right.
We had a few folks who had a few fake tears.
Yes.
We had a few folks in the city of Memphis
Yes.
that represent the city of Memphis,
Yes.
like Mayor Paul Young. Oh, you're not getting off the hook today, sir.
Yes.
You're not getting off the hook today, sir.
Yes.
We came to call you out today.
Yes.
We came to call out Chief of Police CJ Davis. You're not getting off the hook today.
Yes. She need to be fired. Fire CJ.
If you're real and you love Tyree, you don't need no goddamn prompter.
Come on, sir.
You don't need no script and go on social media and talk about your care and concern for Tyree Nichols and this citizen and these citizens. Mayor Young, if you love Tyree Nichols, you would have got rid of CJ Davis. It's her unit that she brought from Atlanta and created the Scorpion unit right here in Memphis, Tennessee, that produced a Tadarius Bean, a Justin Smith, a Demetrius Haley, a Emmett Martin. Huh? It is her that produced that.
Yes. And fail the training.
My Lord.
Here we are again. Here we are again with another situation like this. Salute to you as well, FBA. Salute. Tyree Nichols was beaten by cop to death, and the cops end up getting off. And it's another punch to the gut of the black people in America. Like, we already know justice ain't real up in this country. We already know we don't have real justice for us in this country. But I want us to understand the landscape that's coming unless we do something drastically different, right? Because we're already used to getting crumbs off the table. We're already used to being kicked around by the dominant society. We're already used to being stepped on. We're already used to being treated as second-class citizens. But then you have other groups of people who are coming into this country who do not have our best interests, who are not our allies, who have no vested interest in anything that we have going on, right? Who are looking to make sure that they put themselves in the powerful position, put themselves in the more dominant position, and won't mind stepping on us. Things like this will continue to get worse, and they will never stop unless we put ourselves in a position of power. What is we gonna do? What is we gonna do? So in the case of Rodney Hinton, an eyewitness that was there that they came out and said that they are lying on Rodney. It was actually an elder woman in the car with him that hit the cop. I believe you. I believe, like, we know it's a whole bunch of lies and stuff that's being thrown around in this case. And then we got this janky jury who made this messed up decision, right? So, and another person, right? So it's a whole lot of bull that's going on up in here, right? It's a lot of information that's being hidden. the blue wall this time has protected black cops. All skin ain't kin. We know about meritorious manumission. You do something for the white folk, you get rewarded from the white folk when you're doing stuff for them, right? So these brothers are representing the race soldiers. Let's think about the origins of the police force. Let's think about the origins of the police force. What's going on, bro? How you doing, man? Thank you for tuning in. Thank you all. Thank everybody for tuning in. I appreciate you all. Make sure y'all hit that like button. If you hit that like button, that help the algorithm, that help more people see this, that help this channel grow. Because I'm working on getting to 100,000 subs, and I need y'all help. All right. So let me read a little bit. It says 3 former Memphis officers were acquitted Wednesday of all state charges, including second-degree murder and the fatal beating of Tyree Nichols after he ran away from a traffic stop, a death that sparked nationwide protests and prompted renewed calls for police reforms in the U.S., right? An out-of-town jury from a majority white county took about 8.5 hours over 2 days to find Tadarius Bean, Demetrius Haley, and Justice Smith not guilty on all charges after a 9-day trial in state court in Memphis, which is majority black. After the jury's verdict was read, the defendants hugged their lawyers and relatives of the former officers, cried. Outside the courtroom, one relative railed, "Thank you, Jesus." And these are the relatives of the police officers. Martin Zumack, Smith's attorney, told the Associated Press by text, "It is easy to defend a good person. It is nerve-wracking to represent an innocent man," right? The 3 defendants still face the prospect of years in prison after they were convicted of federal charges last year. Though they were acquitted of the most serious charge then, 2 other former officers previously pleaded guilty on both state and federal, including Emmett Martin, who defense attorneys blamed for the majority of the violence. Bean and Smith are out on bond, and that was last year under house arrest after the federal convictions. Haley is being held in federal prison. But now we see that they have been freed. The jury came up to a not guilty verdict. So it says defense attorney said Martin was responsible for most of the violence. So they're trying to put it all on most of them. I remember seeing the video. I'm not going to show the video on here, but I remember seeing some of the video. I thought there was a place in here where it was talking about the jury, but it was a majority white jury in an all black area, and they made the ruling that these men were not guilty. Now, if you look at the video, they were punching him to the head, kicking him in his head, hitting him with batons, choking him, pepper spraying him, all of the things, like 3-4 officers on this man, and they were acting as if they were fighting some kind of charged up superhuman or something, right? And of course, a lot of lies, like, God damn, they be lying, right? These 3 men helped uphold the system of white supremacy. Those 3 black men helped uphold the system of white supremacy. When they put that badge on, I suspect in the morning when they put that badge on, and they make that pledge of allegiance to the white folk, they mean it. They mean it down in their heart. Tadarius Bean, Demetrius Haley, and Justin Smith. Hey, the ancestors are frowning down on you. You're doing the work of the white man for them. You're doing the work of the white man for them. You signed up to be a race soldier, and you acting it out. That's wild, but the final verdict is there will be no real justice. Once again, there's no real justice for this man who did not have to be beaten to death. A lot of the arguments that they used, and I'm gonna read, the defense argued that Nichols was resisting arrest. Let me read this. Mills acknowledged on the stand that he had a duty to intervene, but didn't. He admitted Nichols never punched or kicked any of the officers, right? But Mills also bolstered the defense's case when he said Nichols was actively resisting arrest and not complying with orders to present his hands to be cuffed. And I remember from what I seen on the video, at that point, this is when they maced him. So of course he's gonna be frazzled. You just maced the damn man. Regular human beings don't go through the training of being maced in the face and still having to be calm. We don't do that. So if you mace me in my face and you're kicking and punching me, so I'm not going to be trying to defend my damn self? Come on now. Let's make some sense out of this. Under cross-examination, he indicated he would not have struck Nichols if Nichols had put his hands behind his back. Now, I watch a lot of police videos and I watch a lot of stuff, and I see we see them take away unarmed, we see them take away heavily armed white people who have just committed mass deletions. We see them take away heavily armed white people who have just committed mass deletions, take them away peacefully. They find a way to get them arrested. There are numerous cases of white people who mass shootings, crazy violence, and they find a way to be taken away alive. How was that? How that happen? How do white people managed to be taken away alive after having committed serious crime and armed, but a black man who's unarmed, outnumbered, and already being beat on and lied upon, he has to be beaten to death. Like that was the only course of action that they had, was to actually beat him to death. And so their argument that they leaned on is he was resisting arrest, and I'm guessing the jury brought it. I'm guessing the weak ass jury brought it. Now they were supposed to. I know we're supposed to be waiting on the jury to come out and speak. Members of the jury who were brave enough to come out and speak, we're waiting on that, and we need to let their asses have it. In my opinion, this was just another log on the fire of them reminding us that we have no value to them in this country outside of being labor, outside of making them money, making their pockets thicker, satisfying them sexually. Because remember, a part of that servitude was that sexual servitude, the breaking of the bucks, men and the women in the sexual servitude. So if we're not serving them in a way that enriches them monetarily, give them more land, more power, or satisfying them sexually, we have no value to them. Remember this, they see no value in us outside of us being used as tools for them. So it's always easy for them to take us out. That was the purpose of a lot of the propaganda that has been put out over the last century. Why would I give praise to something that I don't even see as human? And if I don't see you as human, then I'm going to treat you as such. If I see you as a tool, I'm going to treat you as a tool. I'm going to use you as a tool. And nowadays we have the Sambos, because we're not even going to call these brothers Uncle Toms. We're going to call them the Sambos. We have the Sambos who sign up to be a part of something, who's carrying out the actions and the will of the white supremacists. And remember, the Sambos, remember the difference between Uncle Tom and Sambo. Sambo was the one who was doing the bidding for the white people. Uncle Tom was the one who was defending the women and children from Sambo, the sellout Negro. Yeah, Jay, America got issues. If you build a country, you got to remember, Dr. John Henry Clark told us that Europe dumped this human garbage can into America. Let that sink in. Let that statement sink in. Europe dumped its human garbage can into America. That's the foundation of this culture. It's the foundation of this country, of this culture. Europe dumped their human garbage can over here. America is founded upon racism and violence. Yeah, they're gonna allow some crazy ass white woman calling a 5-year-old the N-word. They're gonna enrich her. So, and remember, if that scam is true, if the scam story is true, over $1 million has been amassed, and the object was to make sure that we call this young black child an N-word and call it that forcefully and successfully, right? So yeah, that's gonna happen. But it also it's another log on the fight. These white folk crazy. Here we are. Now, the Tyree Nichols case, they used our skin folk who ain't kin folk, and they took it upon themselves to be excessive. They took it upon themselves to say, we're going to play God and take your life, and we're going to be judge, jury, and executioner, and we are going to make a verdict and a ruling on your life right here, Tyree Nichols. And they did, and it took that man's life, and then play victim, and then have the three grown ass men, they have the nerve to play victim or try to justify it. Y'all can go to hell, man. Y'all can go to hell. Y'all can jump off a cliff and go straight to hell. That's crazy that this is how we are operating with each other. But remember, we've learned. Remember, we do our book readings on Monday. We listen to our lectures on Tuesday. We get our Black History profile, our Black History information on Wednesday. Thursday is the clip. Friday is the breakdown. Saturday is this Negro news. So we learn throughout the week about the mindset of these crazy ass white people that we dealing with, and the Negroes who subscribe to the system of white supremacy. And y'all make sure, if y'all haven't watched the Friday breakdown video yet, make sure y'all go check that out. Support my man's PC, support my man's Pat. Make sure y'all go check that breakdown Friday video out. It's out now. But yeah, Tyree Nichols, like this is where we are, like looking at the justice system again. It is the summertime too. It is the summertime because usually this stuff happens in the summertime. I'm not sure what the mass black reaction will be for this. So it been time. I'm not in disagreement with you, Jay. I agree with you. It's been time. It's been time for us to be able to protect ourselves, to organize and protect ourselves. And that's going to go more into this next story when we're talking about Rodney Hinton Jr. Exactly, Ali. Exactly. We want the cupcake story. We want the Disney World story. We want white people to make us feel good about the oppression and the white supremacy that we experience on a regular basis. We want to appeal to white people's to their emotions, and white people say, you know what, we are treating them black people bad. We might need to stop treating black people bad because it ain't right to treat black people bad, and we gonna give back all the stuff we taking. Yeah, we living in a fantasy world if we think that's gonna happen. We living in a fantasy world. It's about time for us to be realistic about the world we live in and this country we live in and this thing we call America. We need to be realistic about it, right? Tyree Nichols, it's unfortunate. My condolences goes out to his family and friends, not just him, all the black people who have been victimized of things like this. And so I'm wondering, because the cops are black, will there be some kind of protest, some kind of outcry, some kind of mass demonstrations around the country where things like that happen? Because the cops who killed them were black. And I know if it was white cops, then we would have that. To me, I'm saying it should be no different. If you're gonna do it, be consistent with it. Damn them. Damn them brothers, they Sambos. They have chosen their side. Damn them. Condemn them to hell. Damn them brothers, right? We can't even call them brothers. Damn them coloreds. We're gonna call them coloreds. Damn them coloreds, right? Them Sambos. It could have been a better way. Tyree Nichols could still be alive. Yep, peace and blessings to Rodney and his family. My bad. Bruh, they want to stay drowning. What intelligent group of people will continue to drown? Damn, learn to swim at some point. We got to learn to swim at some point, right? Yeah, damn them brothers. Damn, them brothers need to jump off a cliff face first, a cliff that's like full of acid and lava and doo-doo and all types of stuff with some spikes. Face first. Face first. Damn them brothers. Damn them brothers. All right. Let's move forward. Let's move forward because I want to get into the story. The story that I really, really, really want to get into, that we came here to talk about, Rodney Hinton Jr., right? Of course, we know we got to talk about what happened with the Tyree Nichols case because it's significant. It's a significant case for us where we are right now. But I want to get into Rodney Hinton Jr. So, what to say? Yeah, okay, whatever, man. Whatever you say. But let's get into it.
We're now getting a closer look at how deputies from Claremont County interacted with Rodney Hinton Jr. You see the video playing out behind me. This is the man accused of killing Deputy Henderson after he was released from the hospital, booked into jail, and later taken to court. WCPO 9 News reporter Sean Delancey breaks down the body cam footage.
Officers and deputies enter a Cincinnati police holding cell where Rodney Hinton Jr. is sleeping.
Wake up. Wake up.
Still in his hospital gown, Claremont County deputies called to bring Hinton to their jail in Batavia, shackle the man accused of killing Hamilton County Sheriff's Deputy Larry Henderson just hours earlier.
Are you able to stand on your own? Try.
Deputies take Hinton to the Claremont County Jail.
Oh, we're going to get in this door over here.
Where another deputy ran him through a series of questions about his mental and physical state.
I'm going to ask you some questions. You have a serious medical or mental health issue that needs immediate attention? Is that a yes or a no? Have you recently considered attempted suicide? No. You want to hurt yourself or anybody else? No.
In court Tuesday, Hinton's defense attorney requested a mental competency evaluation for him. The attorney argued that Hinton was mentally ill at the time. Police say he hit and killed Deputy Larry Henderson with his car.
I want to make certain that this young man is treated as a mentally ill person and not as a cop killer.
An official evaluation will have to wait until an indictment. However, the judge did recommend that Henderson have all mental health resources available to him while in custody. The rest of the new video shows deputies transporting him to the jail, small snippets of conversation, polite.
Leave his hands up for a second. Hands up, please.
Each move.
I got your back for balance. I got your back.
Law enforcement seemingly doing whatever possible.
Ready? Step down slow.
To ensure Hinton isn't further injured as he faced a judge for the first time and is returned to the jail.
Take your time. Take your time. Ready? Yep. You all right? One more. There you go.
He's being held here without bond, facing aggravated murder charges. Sean Delancey, WCPO 9 News.
The man accused of intentionally mowing down retired Hamilton County Deputy Larry Henderson and killing him is denied bond. Rodney Hinton Jr. is charged with aggravated murder in the death of Deputy Larry Henderson. Then this happened on Friday, and Cincinnati police say that Hinton was distraught after viewing body cam footage of his son's death at the hands of one of their officers on Thursday. We do have live team coverage of these events inside and outside the courtroom. We want to begin today with Local 12 Morella Porter. Morella, good afternoon to you.
Before Morella get into it, I'm gonna say my piece, but make sure y'all hit that like button. If you're coming into this live, please hit that like button. Help a brother out. I'm working to get to 100,000 subs. I just crossed 70,000 subs. Thank you to all of you for helping me cross 70,000 subs. I remember when I had 20 subs, and I was like, dang, I can't wait till I get 200. Now I'm looking at 100,000, and I'm happy about that. And I attribute that to you all's support for helping me grow this channel and get this information out. So hit that like button. Hit that like button. Rodney Hinton Jr. So let's start at the beginning of what got us here with the situation with Rodney Hinton Jr. So his son was fatally shot and killed by police officers after fleeing police officers because Rodney Hinton Jr.'s son and 4 other young black men were involved in a car theft. They were armed and they were in a stolen car and they were fleeing police officers, and his son was killed while fleeing the officers. Now, one of the officers say that they shot and killed him because he pointed the gun at the officer. That's what is being said. Thank you, my brother. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Right, so say one of the officers said they shot and killed Rodney Hinton Jr.'s son because a gun was pointed at the officer and the officers feared for their lives. And some of the stories around it is saying the officers were well within their rights because they have a duty to not only protect themselves, but the citizens who are in the area. So this is information that's being said. And so Rodney Hinton Jr. and his family were taken to the police station or whatever location, and they were shown the body cam video. And then shown the body cam video, Rodney Hinton Jr. became visibly upset and didn't finish watching the film. After that, he got to his car and left. He went and found the police officer and ran the police officer over with his car. Is this justice or is this another crime? He took the life of the officer that he felt unjustly took the life of his son. A lot of people are calling it vigilantism. A lot of people are saying, you have people who are cheering for what he did. Then you got a lot of people who are against what he did, of course. And of course, you know, the police officers are against what he did, and people who support police officers and all the systems within that are against what Rodney Hinton Jr. did. Now, I'm not mad at Rodney Hinton Jr. I'm not mad at him and what he did. Now, yeah, Felontavious. Yeah, that's a hell of a name too. Like Felontavious, hilarious. That's a hell of a name. Like that's funny. But yes, Rodney Hinton Jr. is definitely not going to see the day of light. Not going to see the light of day again. He's definitely going to be locked up, and they might throw the key at him. They might take his life. He's not getting back out. So we're not even going to argue whether or not he gonna get time or not, whether or not it was legal or not. What he did, what Rodney Hinton Jr. did was a crime. He did commit a crime in the execution of that police officer. Let's just call it what it is. Let's just put the facts on the table. That is a crime. So he will face the consequences of his crime. But that police officer also faced consequences. Now, whether or not you agree with Rodney or not, it happened. Rodney felt that this officer acted unjustly, and he decided to take justice into his own hands. Now we can sit here back and forth and we can argue all day whether it was right or wrong, but damn it, it happened. That's what he thought, that's what he felt, and that's what he did, right? And he might get the book thrown at him because it can be considered premeditated, a premeditated deletion of a police officer. Now, some of the defense could be that because this happened right after he saw the body cam video, so this could be seen as a crime of passion or a crime that was fueled by emotions, because this was immediately following seeing the body cam video. So it could be considered that could be argued by the defense. That could be argued by the defense. But Rodney did what he did. He did what he did. I'm not mad at Rodney at all. Definitely not mad. Now, I know a lot of people are going to be like, this is what black people should be doing, and black people need to stand up, and I'm not arguing with that either. But I will say, you can't keep saying that and not have any real action behind that if that's how you feel, right? You can't be the one who is saying, yeah, Rodney, what you did was right, and more black people need to be doing it. And now, hey, pull that back, because where's your organization around that? We have to think long term, and we have to think real solutions, because if not, we'll only be able to look at this as a one-off. Okay, this happened here. Like we were talking on the Breakdown Friday, right? You had the gentleman who executed the cop in Dallas about 10 years ago. And then 10 years later, here we are with the Rodney Hinton Jr. thing, but nothing is built around it. No momentum is built around it. Nothing comes out of it. It's this incident happened, and then we went back to doing what we normally do. If that's going to be the case, then we only need to talk about it in a sense of a father taking revenge on a police officer who he felt did an unjust act and taking his son's life as his son was fleeing from the police officer. It was said that, so I didn't hear that part, that it was said a female was in the car. That's interesting. I'm gonna look for that. I haven't heard that, but okay. Said a female was in the car, but Rodney was intentional about his actions. He found the cop that was said to take out his son, that deleted his son. He found that cop. That cop was working as a school crossing guard, found him and mowed him over. Black Americans have been kicked around, stepped on, spit on, dehumanized in the worst type of way by America, white people in America, sellout black people in America, people who represent other races, right? You have to understand that people do have a breaking point. Whether you agree with Rodney or not, you do have to understand the breaking point of a people. Now, some people can look at this and say, well, this is a family of criminals. They can look at that. You can, that's cool. But I'm looking at it as a breaking point. At some point, a group of people or even individuals within that group are going to do something that could be seen as radical, something that could be seen as drastic, something that can be seen as out of the ordinary. But something happens and it can be a game changer for the group of people that is represented by that person who did that drastic action. It can be seen as a game changer. It can change or wake up consciousness or wake up activity in a group of people, and they decide to do something different for themselves. I talk about, me and my girl, we have conversations a lot, and we talk about the place that violence has in human society. And she don't like it that violence is utilized the way it's utilized. And I get it, I understand, but I try to, bring around to her that, and it was stated earlier, right? Being able to wake up and understand what you're dealing with, who your enemy is, who your foe is. And violence is what put us in this subservient place. Violence is what this country is built off of, as I stated earlier. Violence is what keeps the system of white supremacy where it is. And unfortunately, one of the only ways to overthrow that is by violence. So if this is true, then there's two different stories out. So I can concede if he killed a cop that wasn't one, my bad. He killed another cop, but there are stories out there saying that he killed a cop that that was the cop that killed his son. So if that's true, all right, my bad. But either way, he took out a police officer. What does this comment say? I'm white, I'm sorry, man. Yeah. Manipulation at its finest. Holding accountability is not something. Well, you got to remember though, too, like accountability is usually held for people who are in subservient positions. Accountability is usually for people who have to account to somebody else. If you're in a position of power, you don't have to have accountability. Now, not having accountability probably won't allow you to last in that position for long, but who do you have to account to other than yourself, right? So that type of accountability. But it's Rodney Hinton Jr. situation. It's another thing that has the nation, that have black people, white people, all types of people going at it in the internet. Black people who support the conservatives, black people who support the police officers are all up in arms about this situation. Black people who traditionally support black people and the things that we have going on are like, hey man, Rodney did what he had to do. So these are all the sentiments, a lot of the ideas, a lot of the stories and things that are going on out here surrounding this Rodney Hinton Jr. story. And it's sad that we're in this place, especially because the genesis of this is something that didn't have to happen, as far as a crime being committed by Rodney Hinton Jr.'s son and his friends, and being caught in a situation where they're fleeing from police officers, and the police officers state that a gun was pointed at me. And in saying that the gun was pointed at him, he takes his gun out and he deletes Rodney Hinton Jr.'s son. That led to Rodney Hinton Jr. seeking revenge and actually taking his revenge out. And let's listen a little more.
Yeah, good afternoon, Liz. It was incredibly tense inside of the courtroom. Hamilton County Sheriff Charmaine McGuffey, her deputies, and Cincinnati police officers filled the courtroom in force for Rodney Hinton's bond hearing. Take a look at this video from inside of the courtroom. When Hinton walked up to the podium in front of the judge, his brother refused to sit down, resulting in chaos when an officer tugged on his shirt to get him to listen. Hinton was briefly escorted out as his brother was taken out of the gallery. Once the hearing got started, an investigator laid out the evidence against Hinton, explaining how he was so distraught after seeing body cam video of his son being killed that his family drove him home because they were concerned about him. Hinton is accused of deliberately mowing down Deputy Larry Henderson with his car after picking it up around 12:40 in the afternoon at CPD's parking lot Friday. Within 20 minutes, Deputy Henderson was run over as he directed traffic for UC's graduation. Prosecutors believe Henderson was the first law enforcement officer Hinton saw, and that's why he was targeted. The investigator says a street camera and video captured from a bus in the area, along with witness testimony, showed Hinton park in a median and angle his car at Henderson before accelerating and running him over. Hinton's attorney, Clyde Bennett, said Hinton was not in the right mental state at the time.
The weight of the evidence, the nature and circumstances of the offense charged as being an offense of violence, the defendant's mental condition, and the nature and seriousness of his danger to police officers and others in the community strongly suggest that denying bond is both in the interest of the community and in the interest of the defendant.
I want to make certain that this young man is treated as a mentally ill person and not as a cop.
Just a quick shout out to all 91 people in the live right now. I appreciate y'all. Y'all are the realest ever. Make sure you hit that like button. That's went up to 94. Y'all are the greatest ever. Hit that like button.
I don't think he was a cop killer. I think he was not in his right mind. And I think he should be treated like any other mentally ill person.
Now, his defense attorney, Clyde Bennett, says he plans to order a competency evaluation for Hinton. For now, live at the Justice Center, Morella Porter, Local 12 News.
Thank you, Morella. And shortly after Rodney Hinton was denied bond, Sheriff Charmaine McGuffey spoke with Local 12's Christian Hauser. He joins us now live with what the sheriff just announced in the department and what they are doing to honor retired Deputy Larry Henderson. Christian, hello to you.
Good afternoon, Liz. I'll get to what Sheriff McGuffey said regarding the chaos in the courtroom in just a minute. First, though, she wanted to focus on Deputy Larry Henderson. She thanked the community for the outpouring of support the deputies have received since the murder of the deputy. Now, we learned more about that fallen officer, including that he spent 33 years with the department and retired just 5 months ago. Now, the sheriff announced Henderson's badge number 129 will be retired. She described him as brave and wanting to be on the front lines to serve. She also noted that he was a Marine veteran. McGuffey says they will mourn and celebrate Larry, including having a full honor send-off for him later this week. I asked her how the family's doing right now.
His family is doing as well as can be expected. It was an incredible shock, you can imagine, to get that call and have to show up one by one to find out the shape that Larry was in, to find out the tragedy that had occurred. And it was incredibly heart-wrenching for all of our deputies who remained at the hospital, who remained for hours and hours and hours waiting and making sure that we met the family's needs.
Now, back to that chaos in the courtroom. The sheriff's office provides the deputies for security inside there. And when asked about keeping things under control at future hearings and trying to prevent future incidents like what happened today, Sheriff McGuffey tells me that she knows emotions can run high, but it's the deputies' job to keep the peace inside those courtrooms. She added that they must respect everyone's rights and respect everyone in the community, which is why I think they worked to try and calm down that man who said he was the brother of Rodney Hinton Jr. instead of arresting him. Live at the Hamilton County Justice Center, I'm Christian Hauser.
So, I know I was watching a video earlier and they were talking about how when Rodney Hinton Jr. was marched into the courtroom, the officers who were in support of the officer who was mowed down, that officer is Larry Henderson, they were trying to intimidate Rodney Hinton Jr. And a lot of people gave Rodney Hinton Jr. praise for not being intimidated by those officers, standing tall, standing strong, looking them in their eyes and not cracking, not breaking. And I get it, because he's going to have it rough because they're going to try to intimidate him. They're going to try to break him. I believe when he's locked up, I believe he's going to have a hard time with a lot of the guards and a lot of the COs and people who are supposed to be there to protect him. He's going to be vulnerable. I believe that. Also, too, because we're talking about his mental state. Talking about his mental state immediately, because this is immediately following watching the body cam video of his son being deleted by a police officer. Immediately following that, and he went out and he mowed down the police officer. Now, white boys, white men who have committed mass shootings, mass deletions, have been able to get off on insanity pleas. They were able to put on they've been able to plead insane and be able to have lesser sentences and lesser time, and maybe even get out earlier because of the mental health plea. Will Rodney Hinton Jr. be able to use that in his defense? I hope his defense team, his lawyers, I hope they're good. I hope they're good and are able to get him something fair, because this was a crime that was fueled by his emotions. What would you do? What would you do if you just saw the video of police officer taking out your son? And I know a lot of people are going to be like, well, his son shouldn't have committed the crime. Well, the white boys who do mass shootings, who come home alive, shouldn't have did that, but they still were able to come home alive. So we know that there is a non-lethal way to apprehend suspects. We know that there's a non-lethal way to do it. It just has to be used. It has to be a will behind it to bring people in without taking their lives. And clearly that didn't happen, because we wouldn't be here talking about this right now. We wouldn't be here talking about this right now if that had happened. So clearly they ain't give a damn about bringing him in alive. Now, once again, like Auntie Whiteout is saying, what cops put on paper as opposed to what really happens, because they're saying, hey, he pointed a gun at me. So that's the justification of taking out the son, because a gun was pointed at the officer. All right, what Rodney Hinton is saying, well, the justification for taking out your officer is my son was unjustly taken out. It reminded me of when I was watching Bravehearts, the story of William Wallace, and they unjustly eliminated William Wallace's wife, and that led to an uprising, a revolt. But it has to be the people, us, we got to have it in here. We got to have that will to do that. But we also have to know how to organize and get our stuff together as the people. It makes no sense to be like, hey, all right, well, we finna ride for Rodney Hinton, and you're unorganized, nothing's together. You're not riding, you're causing more chaos. You're not actually helping the situation. You're not actually helping Black people. I'm not telling you how to feel. I'm not telling you what to think. But I will say that if we don't choose to operate differently, to look at ourselves differently, to love ourselves differently, we're going to be here 10 years from now still having these same type of conversations of ourselves being victimized by the people who uphold the system of white supremacy. Continue to be victims in any type of way, because now, remember, this whole Negro news is talking about, we started off talking about a white woman who called a 5-year-old who went slap off, who damn near dog cussed a 5-year-old, autistic 5-year-old for going through her child's diaper bag. First story. The second story is the Tyree Nichols case, where Black officers beat a Black man to death and got off, and the Black man posed no threat. And then now we're talking about a Black man taking his revenge out on a race soldier who represents the department that took the life of his son. Right? Think about the nature of the people that we're dealing with and the nature of the people who support the system of white supremacy. Think about the nature. That's why on the breakdown, yesterday's breakdown, I was asking the questions like, how, like, because I want us to understand that a violent nation, because all nations are violent. All nations are violent. There's violence in all nations, but we produce ultra-violent people, excessively violent people. We produce them more than any other groups of people here in America. So I'm just saying. And let me get into some of these comments. So a white man pointing a chop at the police, he didn't get a scratch on him. They have to show the difference. Yes. We've seen plenty of videos of crazy ass white people putting police lives in mass danger, and they're still alive. They've been apprehended in a safe manner, and they're still alive. Yeah, it's wild out here. Tiffany says it's definitely justice. Hey. If what the white folk call justice is justice, then you can't tell us what to call justice, right? There's a whole video of kids actually shooting at the police, neither. Bruh. We could be here all day. We could be here all day finding evidence to back this up. All day. All day finding evidence to back this up. We can't. And somehow they come out alive. Hey man, don't pee on me and tell me it's raining. I might look like this. My hairline might not be the greatest, but I ain't stupid now. Right? Yeah, white people look out for white people at the end of the day. Yes, they are going to be violent against each other. Yes, they're going to take each other out. There are always going to be casualties on their side, but they're going to look out for each other. Now, I haven't heard that. But man say, child say he heard it today. Okay, so I'm gonna look for that. I'm definitely gonna look for that. Oh, you got to send that to me. On the shoulders one, I'm gonna put my email in there. Oh, wrong one. If y'all want to send me videos, if y'all want to send me stuff to talk about, to check out, on the shoulders one at gmail.com. I just put my email in the chat. Here it is. It's my email in the chat. Y'all make sure you send me the stuff, because I definitely look at it. I definitely check it out. Man, nothing new. America is what it's always been. Remember, the system of white supremacy isn't dying off. It's a refining of the system of white supremacy. It's not supposed to look today the same way it looked 50 years ago or 100 years ago, even 200 years ago. It's not supposed to look the same. It evolves. It gets better. It's a way to disguise what's going on. Now you still have some white folk who are out in the public, like the white woman in the first video. Still have some upfront in your face racist. Like that's the racism I'm used to, because I'm down here in North Florida. And if you know anything about North Florida, this racism down here is the same as that South Georgia, right? So I'm used to in your face racism. I've literally seen the Ku Klux Klan with my own eyes several times here. I've literally seen them, right? So I'm used to that. So, and then there's also the covert racism, the liberal covert racism that exists too. But America is what it is. That's the foundation of this country. Yep. Yes. Darlene. Yes. Yes. Yes, Darlene. You get it. And if you don't know that the system ain't for us, it's gonna be a rude awakening. It's definitely gonna be a rude awakening for you to realize what is actually happening, what we're actually dealing with, the people that we actually deal with, the people who built this, the people who maintain this. I have a video on the history of policing in America. Go check that video out. I'll put the link to that in the comments. I'll come back and put a link to that in the description. But I have a video of the history of policing in America. White folk getting out left and right. They look out for their own. They look out for their own. Of course they victims. They're victims now because they understand that more and more people are standing up, waking up, and willing to fight back. So of course they're victims. America isn't what it is. When they say make America great again, when they talk about make America great again, they want to see upfront in your face white supremacy. They don't want to see this refined white supremacy. They're not saying that it shouldn't exist. They want to see it the way it used to be. They want us niggers to know our place. They want us niggers to stay in our place and be in our place. Because us niggers, clearly we don't know our place because we fighting back. Now, not all of us. Don't get it twisted. I'm not saying that all of us are, but those of us who are definitely tuned into this live stream, we got 115 people in the building, man. One time. Y'all give yourselves a hand. I appreciate you all. Make sure y'all hit that like button. Please hit that like button as well as comment. I'm on my way to 100,000 subs and I need y'all help. Thank you. I want to get this out. I want to push this on this Black History School. It's like, so I tell you about that today. We did our lesson for Black History School today, and we went over the history of Fort Negro Fort, Prospect Bluff, right? And we were talking about how and stank ass, and that's what we well, I didn't say stank ass in front of the kids, but I was like, oh, stank old Andrew Jackson. But for this, because we're adults, I can say stank ass Andrew Jackson, right? We're talking about how Negro Fort was attacked by stank ass Andrew Jackson and his troops. But Negro Fort was a place where runaway slaves and indigenous Americans were able to exist, to live, and to be able to house themselves and defend themselves against the Americans. Because at the time, Florida was Spanish, and the fort had been given to Seminoles via the British in 1814 after the War of 1812. So it was a great lesson because I made it so interactive, and they had to come up with plans on how to use the terrain to better protect ourselves from the enemies. And 200 soldiers, we have the terrain around us and just the ammunition left. And we made them come up with plans and figure out how we could protect ourselves and move forward. So it was fun. It was fun. It was fun. It was fun. This has been a great day. I'm having, if y'all can't tell, I'm gonna have to start going live all the time. So that's a question I was gonna ask, right? First of all, how y'all feel about this live video? Y'all drop y'all comments. If you like this live, let me know in the comment and hit that like button, right? But how would y'all feel like I make these Negro News videos live all the time, right? If I go live all the time, if you want this Negro News live all the time, put that in the comment, let me know, and I can do that, right? Hey. So Volusia. Yep. Yes, he was. PC talk about it all the time. And speaking to PC, what's up, PC? What it is, just like he said, y'all hit that like button. But yes. Hey, when I learned that they took Dylan Roof to Burger King, I flipped my lid. Oh, I flipped my lid. Thank you, Kentucky Blue. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. Hey, for the Europeans, great means white, right? Like Alexander the Great. Nah, Alexander wasn't all that great. Alexander the colonizer. Alexander, yeah, whatever. He wasn't great. ask the people who will conquer how great he was, right? Yep. So we know that there's evidence, there's history, there's information. We can show proof of this beast that we're dealing with. We can show proof. So we need to prove to ourselves that we can be more than punching bags. That's the whole purpose of this channel existing, right? So we can help to uplift and empower ourselves. I'm not saying I'm gonna save the whole thing. I'm not trying to save the whole world. We're not trying to save the whole world, but what we are trying to do is make a difference where we are. That's what we're trying to do. You see more and more information come out saying he wasn't even driving the car. It was a lady driving the car. So where's the lady? Where is the lady? So I appreciate you. I appreciate you, Ali. I appreciate you. Man, understanding. You have to come to full-fledged understandings about what's going on. So yeah, if they're saying a lady, that does, you're right, PC. Because you say that changes everything. If it's, I'm gonna check that out. I'm gonna check it out. I'm gonna check that out because I haven't came across that information that a whole lady was driving. See, but that's why we do this. Also, I'm glad y'all giving me information. I don't mind you giving me information. Please bring me up to speed if I need to be. I don't know everything. That's why I was gonna say everything. That's what I was gonna say earlier. I can't. It's not my job to say the whole world. We got to do this as a collective. So, hey man, bring me up to speed. Shout out to John. Shout out to John Russell Jr. And see, this is literally on this live. This is literally my first time hearing that a woman was driving the car. And so it keeps changing. Okay. All right. Shout out to Texas Blue Bonnet. I appreciate that. The story keeps changing. So I'm going to have to do a follow-up. I'm definitely going to have to do a follow-up and find more information and tell you what I found about this Rodney Hinton Jr. situation. So Island Rebel Entertainment says, I love my daughter to this level, so I'm going to let him be. I can't blame him any. I am not mad at Rodney at one. I'm not right. One bit I'm not mad at him. I get it. I understand. I'm not mad at him. But this had for us, the collective, it has to be more than just we looking at one black man do something like that. Like it has to be supported. If we're looking at it as something good, then it has to be supported, right? So, oh man, about that time for me to wrap this live up. I had a great time here this Saturday, May 10th, and this is cathartic for me because, like I say, May 10th, a year ago, I woke up and a hurricane was coming through my neighborhood. I'm in the not a hurricane, a tornado. I woke up in the middle of a tornado. I had COVID, and I woke up in the middle of a tornado, and our power was knocked out for like a week. And everything was trashed. My car got damaged. Trees was everywhere. And it's a year later, man, and I'm still here. I'm still alive. Like things could have went different, and I'm still here. I'm still alive. I'm getting better. Things have gotten better. We're getting stronger. You are getting stronger. We're getting stronger together. I appreciate you all. I really do appreciate you all. This is humbling to me. I appreciate 105 people showed up to this live. It's the first time this has happened. And I haven't went live since before the pandemic. So I appreciate you all. I appreciate you all. Make sure you check out my Friday breakdowns. Make sure you check out the breakdown Fridays. Make sure you look for Monday. Look forward to the book readings. Tuesday, look forward to the lectures. Wednesday, look forward to the Black History Profile. Thursday, you know, there's a clip. Friday is the Friday Breakdown. Saturday is this Negro News. I might bring y'all some Negro News tomorrow. I might bring you another live episode of Negro News tomorrow, depending on how much time I have for the rest of this day to get my stuff together. I'm really thinking about bringing y'all another Negro News, and us keep building. Us keep building. I appreciate everybody who's left entertainment. I appreciate you. Ali Cologne, I appreciate you. Texas Blue Bonnet, I appreciate you. Forgive me if I mess up your name, brother. Yikwabwa. Please forgive me if I mess up your name, but I appreciate you for tuning in, my brother. John Russell Jr., Island Rebel Entertainment, PC Professor Carlton Jones. You ought to know what it is, bro. Appreciate you. Dante Hall, I appreciate you. Darlene Gray, I appreciate you. Kentucky Blue, 3JRUF8RJ41, I appreciate you. Joe Toe, appreciate you. Man, this has been fun. I'm gonna do this some more. Cha, appreciate you. If I pronounce that wrong, forgive me, please. Help me pronounce it correct. I said, I am legendary artist. I appreciate you. Tiffany, you already know I appreciate you. You already know what it is. Because when I see you, Anti-Whiteout, thank you for joining the live. I appreciate you. Let me see if I missed anybody. Amedi Smith, I appreciate you for tuning in to the live. Hey, you get Felon Tavius, you get the award for the name of the day. Felon, that is hilarious. Felon Tavius, that is hilarious. That's funny. Christopher Parker, I appreciate you. Stephen Brown. Case dismissed, I appreciate you. DJ Mega Aim, wouldn't you like to know? I appreciate you. J Nebula, David M. Thornton, I appreciate you. Brandy Coke, Beautiful Hebrew, appreciate you. FBA, appreciate everybody for tuning in to this live today, to this On the Shoulders of Giants. The plan is to keep growing and going. That's the plan, to keep growing and going, I want to get better. I want to make this thing better. I want to make sure that On the Shoulders of Giants is something that is valuable to my community. We have tangible results, tangible outcomes. My overall goal is for this platform, this is what I do for a living. I can come on this platform and do my videos, run my Black History School, do my lessons, and the overall goal is a On the Shoulders of Giants. It's a education and cultural center that's also a museum. And so people all over can come and learn in the center, can come and do things. You do events, but it's also have a museum component, and to where people can come and have their exhibits, and we can learn about different aspects of our history through the different ways that is displayed to us through the artistry and the way that we learn about our history. So that's the ultimate goal of On the Shoulders of Giants. This is what I do full time, and I'm making a hell of a difference in my community. The whole goal of this is for me to make my community better than what it was when I was born. So that's the whole goal. So make sure y'all hit that like button, comment, subscribe, share. Remember, Joe Biden told me to tell you that if you don't hit that like button, then you ain't African American. I love you all. I thank you all. Thank you to everybody who loved this content. Thank you. It means a lot. Peace. Y'all enjoy y'all Saturday. Catch y'all on the other side. And I might do a live stream tomorrow. I'm gonna let you know.